Now, the British music star Rita Ora is heading a campaign to try to combat what's known as beauty cyberbullying, where somebody is bullied online as a result of their appearance. It's in association with the cosmetic brand Rimmel, who've released the results of a survey suggesting almost a quarter of women have experienced beauty cyberbullying, with nearly half those going on to self-harm. Well, Rita Ora joins me now from the South Bank in London. Rita Ora, good afternoon to you.
Hello, very nice to see you guys. That was a great explanation of what we're doing here today.
Well, I wanted to ask you why you particularly want to get involved with this, because is this something that's affected you?
Well, I'm here with Rimmel and with Coty to launch the I Will Not Be Deleted campaign, which is basically a self-decision that you make with yourself on your social media to decide whether or not a picture is good enough, or whether your followers will like it, or whether the haters will actually really feel like this is an attempt to attack you or myself. And I've personally been a part of cyberbullying with what I kind of decide to post, and I think that only 44% of women actually report bullying, and I think that's a really low figure, and it really affects people and it really damages people's mental health, which is such a big issue for us, especially for someone like myself in the public eye who for many years has had this, I guess, cover of, you know, being in hair and makeup and wearing all these fancy dresses and doing all these shows, and you feel like, wow, I've really had a platform to, you know, support women of any ages and men, you know, who feel like they're being attacked for being themselves, which really is just the worst thing ever.
Well, it's quite a platform. You've got 13.9 million followers on Instagram, 6.8 million followers on Twitter. I suspect you don't read them all, but there must be some that still get to you.
Well, don't get me wrong. Of course, earlier in my career, I was completely obsessed with the comments, and I saw some hurtful, horrible things that have made me think twice about, you know, do I even want to do music or, you know, whatever my passion was at the time. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that somebody that I didn't know was making me think twice about my dream, and that for me was the worst feeling in the world. So I can only imagine what teenagers in schools are going through now, with the amount of pressure that they have on social media. It's awful, because I didn't have that in high school, so I can only imagine what people in secondary school and elementary school are going through.
What is it that gets... One always thinks of young girls when we look at this, but what are the sorts of comments that really do upset young people?
For me, and I think for a lot of young women, it's a lot to do with our appearance, how we look, what size we are, what kind of makeup we have on, what we choose to wear. And I just think it's so transparent, and, you know, it's very difficult to just stick up for yourself online, because you really are going to get into a black hole if you try and fight everything that's negative. And so my advice, I think, if I had any, would be to really just support your friends online, and to just show as much support to somebody being themselves as you can, because that really helps the person, and it definitely helps me and inspires so many of my fans. And you know, I can't tell you how passionate I am about this campaign.
Well, it's showing through. It's absolutely showing through. And but I'm just wondering, because a lot of people look at you, Rita, and say, "Hang on a minute, there you are. You have an amazing career. You're beautiful. You can do whatever you want to do." Are you the right sort of person to be giving this message when magazines, TV companies, they're all obsessed with image? And we look at magazines, there's still a huge row about the role of airbrushing and things. Is there still a way to go in just telling people that they can look how they look and be comfortable with it?
Well, I think there's a long way to go. But for example, this campaign of I Will Not Be Deleted, it really means posting something and then kind of regretting it last minute and taking it down. And that, for me, that psychological process is so damaging for your self-confidence that it will make you really doubt everything that you do, and that is the biggest problem. You don't want to have that issue with yourself. And on top of that, it's incredibly difficult to scream from the top of the rooftops, but having that support, for example, with one of my good friends who's also doing the campaign with me, Cara Delevingne, who has a great platform also, it just shows that from all different aspects you can really represent who you are and where you come from, which for me is a big deal, especially that, you know, I immigrated from my country, Kosovo, and came here in the UK, and for me it was all about feeling accepted and feeling wanted in my school and in my class, and when I realized that that wasn't the most important thing, I started to finally be myself. And so this is just really a shout for all women and men to just really be themselves, especially growing up in this crazy cyber world that we live in.
I want to talk about you growing up because, I mean, your dad runs pubs, a landlord. He got you singing in the pub, and this is really how it all started for you, wasn't it? It was a far cry from cyber, wasn't it?
Yeah, sorry, cut out there for a second. Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, I was just looking at the start of your career, and I suppose you can credit your dad because he got you to sing in his pub.
Oh, yeah, no, now thinking about it, I feel like maybe there was a reason why he asked me to sing in his pub. I thought it was, you know, to teach me a lesson or to kind of do something, but in reality, it might have just been so he can get more customers. I might have to talk to him about that, actually. Thanks for bringing that up.
Now, let's talk about you, because you are having a tremendous period at the moment. You've got your new album out next month called Phoenix. It's out the week of your birthday, and also you have broken a record, haven't you? You're now, I think, the most successful female singer in this country for 30 years, up against the likes of Petula Clark. I mean, what do you put that down to? A lot of people look at you and don't realise there's a lot of hard work involved here, isn't there?
Oh, well, I thank you for saying that. You know, I wish it kind of happened overnight, but it definitely didn't. You know, it took me a long time, a lot of grafting, a lot of sacrifice to really kind of have the opportunity to speak my mind and write the music that I want to write and represent myself. And I think with this album, Phoenix, which comes out next month, it's called Phoenix because I really feel like I've had a new lease of life. And, you know, the bird, the eagle of the phoenix is all about kind of arising and having the kind of like power to just be themselves, and I think that's what this is, and also this campaign. And just me as a person, you know, why not? Why not do it for the women and for the girls and for anybody that was listening? It's just why not, you know?
Oh, you have a, I mean, you don't just sing. I mean, you're in a Pokemon movie next year, aren't you?
Beware of the Pokemon! Yeah, that's me. I am definitely in a Pokemon movie. It's my first kind of kids film. I'm really excited about it. I can't go into too much detail, but it will be announced very soon. But it's really awesome. Everyone should go watch it.
This is Detective Pikachu.
Yeah! Do you like Pokemon or Pikachu over there?
Do you know what? My son was obsessed with Pokemon. I've still got all his cards, and they're now worth rather a lot of money.
Oh my goodness, I have just discovered that also. I think we're going to start a business. I think we should start a really good business. No, I'm very, very honoured to kind of be able to do so many parts of entertainment. I think it's just the way the world is going, and if you can do everything, why not? Again, that's my quote, why not?
Let's just talk a bit more about Phoenix, because it's been a long time since your first album, Aura. What's been going on in that time? How have you changed?
I think I've changed a lot. You know, I've definitely grown up into more of a lady, if I do say so myself. No, I think I've really just learned a lot about myself and what my feelings are, and it's okay to really be vulnerable and, for example, also be proud and be a boss. And I think that's why I'm like wearing a suit today. You know, I really feel like I wanted to wear the trousers and I wanted to represent myself and the campaign of I Will Not Be Deleted with Rimmel and Coty, and do something that is inspiring, you know, picking up something and not feeling like you're having stress and anxiety, and actually looking at the news and for once just feeling like, you know what, that was a good section and I feel very happy. That's all I'm trying to do.
It's great. It's great to talk to you, because most of us read about you in newspapers. Are you always happy with the image you think you get from that?
Well, I don't think I can tell. I can't lie and say I'm happy, But, you know, I definitely pick my battles. You know, I'm not the typical looking, I guess, pop star. You know, I'm a woman. I don't have the typical, like, model physique or what people in magazines look like. But I do wish that, I guess, journalism and just media in general for public figures weren't as negative as they are, and that we can almost kind of find a way to pivot it into something really positive and compliment someone on their achievements, for example. I think that for me is completely already a difference. So, you know, we'll wait and see. I'm only one voice, so we'll see, but I definitely am passionate, so I don't know how far that will get me.
Well, it's done all right for you so far. We're out of time. I could talk to you for a lot longer, but Rita Ora, it's a great pleasure to talk to you, and I wish you well with everything.
Thank you so much for this platform. I really thank you for listening. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks. Rita Ora there.